I cheated on my fiancé at my bachelorette party, and it destroyed my entire life. I never imagined I'd be sitting here, for years into my marriage, typing out the darkest secret I've ever kept from my husband. Even writing this makes my hands shake because I've spent years convincing myself that if I never spoke it aloud, maybe it would somehow fade into the past. But it hasn't. And now that my husband knows? I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. To start, I've always been what people call a good girl. The quiet one, the dependable one, the girl who never had a wild phase, who didn't drink underage, who never experimented with anything crazy. My dating history was almost non-existent when I met my husband. I'd never given him a reason to doubt me, not once. Even my therapist calls me pathologically responsible. So what happened at my bachelorette party still feels like something that happened to someone else. Someone reckless. Someone I don't even recognize. My best friend, my maid of honor, planned the entire thing. The idea was simple: rent a party bus, hit a few clubs in the city, then go back to the hotel to crash because most of us lived in the suburbs. I told my fiancé everything, and he was actually excited for me. He even, shockingly, told me I had a free pass for one night. I was furious when he said that. I took it as an insult. I told him I didn't need a free pass because I would never use it. We didn't fight, but I remember how uncomfortable it made me. I was still angry when I left for the party that night. But once the night picked up, the anger faded under shots, dancing, music, and more shots. Everyone was having fun. Some girls left early, others stayed. Everything seemed harmless. When we got to the hotel, my Mo started passing out drinks. We were exhausted and buzzing when she suddenly clapped her hands and yelled that she had a surprise for me. 2 male strippers walked in. I didn't want strippers. I had specifically said I didn't want strippers. But I was drunk, everyone was cheering, and their performance blurred into the kind of thing that makes you cringe at your own memory. Afterward, my Mo paid them, and instead of letting them leave, my stupid, drunk self offered them a drink. And weed. One of the girls had slipped it to me earlier, and I'd never been high in my life. But at that moment I didn't care. It felt like harmless stupidity. That's when one of the strippers asked if he could text a friend, another stripper, who was also in the hotel. We said yes. This is where everything begins to turn into a slow-motion nightmare. When the third guy came in, we were laughing and passing the joint around. One of them pulled my Mo onto his lap, and without thinking, God, I wish I had thought, I sat on another's lap too. His hands went under my dress. Then on my chest. And I didn't push him away. I don't remember the exact order. Just flashes. My dress being lifted. My bra unclipped. A mouth between my legs. Hands everywhere. Bodies shifting. Someone kneeling near my face. Someone behind me. Someone holding my thighs apart. I wasn't unconscious. I remember it. I remember being too drunk and too high to think straight, too gone to be the good girl I thought I was. I remember feeling like I was floating, like consequences didn't exist. And then, blackness. I woke up naked on the hotel room couch. The sunlight hurt my eyes so badly that it felt like needles. My mouth was dry. My body hurt. I thought I dreamed it, until I saw the hotel bed. My Mo was passed out on top of the sheets, completely naked. I shook her awake, horrified, and I'll never forget the first thing she said. Oh my God. I recorded everything. Recorded it. Not just me. Herself too. I begged her, literally begged, to delete everything on the spot. She swore she did. Later that week she gave me a flash drive. In case you ever want to see it, she said, like it was some kind of sick souvenir. I should have destroyed it. I know that. I've thought about doing it 1,000 times. But I never could. Not because I wanted it. But because destroying it meant admitting, fully, completely, to myself that the person in those videos was me. I didn't tell my fiancé. I couldn't. He had given me a free pass, but I never took him up on it. And what happened wasn't a mistake with one person, it was a lot. It wasn't who I was. It was a version of me that only existed under the influence, surrounded by chaos, in a moment where I was too far gone to think clearly. I buried it. I went to therapy. I built my life around becoming the person I always thought I was. For 4 years, this has been the one lie in my marriage. Last week, my Mo got drunk with her husband. She told him everything. And he told mine. My husband confronted me calmly, too calmly. He asked one question. Is it true? I could see the pain in his eyes. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't shaking. He was just dead inside. I admitted it. All of it. And then he said nothing. For 4 days, he has barely spoken a word to me. He sleeps on the far edge of the bed. He leaves the room when I walk in. He eats in silence. He won't look at me. My husband is not a quiet man. When he's upset, he speaks. When he's angry, he gets loud. When he's hurt, he asks questions. But now? Nothing. Just silence. I don't know if he hates me. I don't know if he's planning to leave. I don't know if this marriage, our marriage, can survive something I did 4 years ago and spent 4 years hiding. I love him. I love the life we built. And I'm terrified I've destroyed it all. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what to say. I don't know if saying anything will make it worse. I don't know how to proceed. Second story. I never thought one night could ruin an entire life. But standing here now, looking back at everything I lost, I know exactly where it all went wrong. My bachelorette party. The night I made the biggest mistake of my existence. I want to start from the beginning, because maybe then you'll understand how someone like me, someone who always played it safe, always did the right thing, could throw everything away in a moment of weakness. My name doesn't really matter. What matters is that I had a man who loved me beyond anything I'd ever known. Alex. The kind of man women dream about finding. He was gentle, thoughtful, steady. A man who paid attention. He remembered small details about me that even I forgot. He never raised his voice, never walked away from a difficult conversation, never made me feel like a burden. He made me feel loved in the safest, calmest way possible. I was sure, absolutely sure, that I wanted to marry him. Our wedding date was set. December 28th. Everything was booked, paid for, ready. My dress was hanging in the closet. We were making plans for our honeymoon. My life was settling into something warm and comforting. But here's the thing no one tells you. Peace can be intoxicating, but chaos can be addictive. Before Alex, there was someone else. Jake. If Alex was stability, Jake was fire. If Alex was a warm home, Jake was a burning building I kept trying to walk into. He was every red flag wrapped in a beautiful face and a dangerous smile. He broke me 100 times. And I left him because I finally realized I wanted a real future, not emotional roller coasters. I hadn't seen him in years. He was nothing but a closed chapter. Until, by the cruelest twist of fate, my fiancé realized he actually knew Jake. Not just knew him, Jake was the guy who stole Alex's girlfriend in college. His first heartbreak. His biggest betrayal. I watched the light drain from Alex's eyes when he learned I had a history with the same man who had ruined him years ago. I thought he'd leave me. He didn't. He worked through it. We moved forward. At least, that's what I believed. Then came my bachelorette party. My maid of honor, Claire, organized a weekend at an Airbnb. I thought it would be harmless, some drinks, silly games, matching t-shirts, typical stuff. What she didn't tell me was that she invited some old friends from our early 20s. Friends I hadn't seen in forever. And among them was Jake. The moment he walked in, every hair on my body stood up. It was like being hit with a memory you didn't ask for. His smile, still dangerous. His voice, still smooth. His presence, still overwhelming. I felt my chest tighten. My stomach drop. My brain short-circuit. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't strong enough. And worst of all? I was already 3 drinks in. Jake came straight to me like no time had passed. "Wow, you look incredible," he murmured. And I hated that a part of me reacted. Not because I wanted him, but because he was the one person in my life who had once made me feel wild, reckless, out of control. We talked. We laughed. The alcohol blurred all the sharp edges in my mind. And every boundary I had with him started to crumble. Claire noticed, but instead of pulling me away, she winked. "It's your last weekend as a single woman. Relax. Relax." If only she knew what those words would cost me. As the night went on, Jake kept getting closer, whispering old memories, teasing me in ways I should have shut down immediately. But I didn't. God, I didn't. At some point, the others were dancing, shouting, taking shots. Jake and I drifted into the quieter hallway. He touched my arm. Just lightly. But my body reacted. My mind didn't. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't myself. And in the blur of alcohol and old toxicity, I followed him into one of the bedrooms. The moment the door closed, it was like stepping into my old life again. The worst version of myself. The weakest. The most reckless. We kissed. I didn't stop it. I didn't push him away. We slept together. And the second it was over. Literally the second. My entire soul collapsed. It wasn't pleasure. It wasn't passion. It wasn't love. It was a disaster. A disgusting, irreversible betrayal of the only man who had ever truly loved me. I sat on the edge of the bed, shaking, sobbing, feeling sick. Jake tried to comfort me, but I shoved him away. I told him to leave, to get out, to never talk to me again. He said he had changed. He said maybe this meant something. I told him he meant nothing. He left. And I fell apart. I begged Claire to keep it secret. She looked at me, annoyed, not shocked, and said, "It's a one-time thing. Men do worse." Just forget it. Forget it? I couldn't forget it even for a second. The guilt was instant. Overwhelming. Violent. But the real nightmare started the next day. Because Jake told someone. And that someone told someone else. Until eventually, it reached Alex. When he confronted me, I couldn't lie. I didn't even try. I confessed everything. Every second. Every detail. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He didn't call me names. He just stared at me with eyes that looked dead. He said one sentence. You did the one thing I could never come back from. He took off his ring. Placed it on the table. Packed his things. And walked out of our home without looking back. I tried to chase him. He didn't turn around. Not once. And that's how my perfect life ended. Not with a dramatic explosion. But with a quiet, heartbreaking exit from the only man who ever deserved me. Now I'm left with nothing but the consequences of one night I can't undo. People call me the villain. Some call me stupid. Some say I deserved it. Maybe they're all right. But the truth is simpler, uglier, and more painful. I lost the love of my life because I couldn't control one moment of weakness. A moment that cost me my future. My partner. My peace. My entire life. And every day, I wake up knowing I did this to myself. Third stories. I never thought my life would twist into something that sounded like a viral internet confession. I always thought we were one of those steady couples, for years together, a comfortable rhythm, small arguments but nothing worth remembering. We were supposed to be married in 3 weeks. Our families had already bought their outfits. The invitations had been mailed. My mother had cried when she saw how happy I looked trying on my tux. None of that mattered after last weekend. She had her bachelorette party on Saturday. I didn't have any issue with it. She'd been excited for weeks, planning it all with this massive group chat of 15 friends. They rented a big Airbnb with 4 bedrooms and a patio overlooking the lake. Their plan was simple: get drunk, get high, dance like idiots, and laugh until sunrise. She came by my apartment that morning to pick up a few things. My place is a 2-bedroom, one used as my home office. I'm a self-employed investor, so that room is basically where I spend half my life. She kissed me goodbye, told me she loved me, and left with a smile so casual, so normal, that nothing in the world felt wrong. We texted a little during the early part of the night. She sent a picture of her and her friends in these ridiculous matching pajamas. I told her to have fun. Then the messages tapered off, which I didn't question. She deserved a night to let loose. Around midnight, I got ready for bed. While walking past my office, I noticed the computer screen glowing. She must have been logged into something earlier. When I moved the mouse, her messenger popped up. I should have closed it. I still think that sometimes. I should have just logged her out and gone to sleep. But curiosity is a stupid, dangerous thing, and I clicked. There was the group chat, the same one she'd been planning the night with. Dozens of photos and videos had been uploaded throughout the evening. At first everything was innocent: dancing, drinking games, someone falling over while trying to twerk. I even laughed at a few parts. Then one video started with a friend walking to the front door. When she opened it, 10 unfamiliar men walked inside. They looked like the type of guys who lived at the gym and communicated mostly through chest bumps. The girls screamed like it was Christmas morning. The guys dropped coolers on the floor, someone turned the music louder, and suddenly the girls and guys were grinding, drunk, sweaty bodies everywhere. My stomach went cold. I kept watching anyway, and I will regret that weakness forever. Then came the video, the one that broke something fundamental in me. My fiancé was on the couch, straddling a guy I'd never seen before, kissing him like he was the only oxygen in the room. She pulled away, laughing, and leaned over to kiss a second guy who grabbed her waist. I couldn't breathe. Another video showed her and both men disappearing into one of the bedrooms. Timestamp said they came out 5 minutes later. Maybe it was 5 minutes. Maybe an hour. Maybe they uploaded everything late. None of that changed the core reality. She walked in with 2 men she'd been making out with. I felt sick, physically sick. I braced myself over the bathroom sink and waited to throw up, but nothing came out. Everything felt numb except my hands, which wouldn't stop shaking. I paced for 30 minutes. Then I poured a full glass of whiskey and swallowed it in one go. After that, I saved every incriminating video onto my phone. Something cold took control of me then, something that had no interest in crying or screaming or smashing anything. I opened my camera, hit record, and made a short video. Hi. This is me, your ex-fiancé. I saw the videos from the party. The wedding is off. I hope it was worth it. 10 minutes later, all the videos in the group chat started disappearing. My phone exploded with calls and messages, hers, her friends, notifications stacked so fast the screen froze. I ignored all of them. Then her name flashed with a video call request. I should have declined. But something in me wanted to see her face. So I answered, and stayed silent. She was crying. Her makeup was smeared across her cheeks. Behind her were the same friends who had filmed everything. She started apologizing immediately, words spilling like someone trying to plug a dam with their hands. It wasn't what it looked like. I swear nothing happened. The guys just showed up, we didn't know them, it was just dancing. Her friends jumped in, nodding, swearing they were all innocent. I still didn't speak. She kept talking faster, panic rising in her voice. When she realized I had seen her kissing the two men, she crumbled even more. She blamed peer pressure. She blamed the alcohol. She blamed the girls for encouraging it. Then she remembered the bedroom video. That was when she started screaming that it was just a joke, that she only stepped in for a second and stepped back out again. The friends all nodded obediently like a choir of liars. Finally, when she ran out of breath, I said one sentence. "Is there anything else to add?" She whispered, "No," and I ended the call. Then I went to Facebook, changed my relationship status to single, and posted that the wedding was cancelled and anyone who bought a gift should return it. Her reaction was immediate and explosive, calls, messages, paragraphs so long my phone struggled to load them. She insisted it was just kissing, that she never slept with anyone, that she regretted everything. I sent one warning. If you or your friends lie about what happened or try to make me the bad guy, I will post every video online. Then I turned off my phone. The next few days were chaos. Everything was cancelled, the venue, the catering, the photographer, the honeymoon reservations. Her parents were devastated, mine were quietly furious. She begged to meet in person, and eventually I agreed, mostly because I wanted to end things face to face. She cried harder in person than she did on the video call. She swore up and down she only kissed those two guys. She promised to cut off all the friends who encouraged her. She said she'd never drink without me again. She swore she had thrown up afterward from guilt. She begged me to forgive her. Part of me wanted to believe her, but the larger part couldn't. Her actions didn't just break my trust, they erased our entire history. Every memory now felt contaminated, suspect. Because if she could do this once, how would I ever know she didn't do it before? She returned the ring. I helped her move her things out of my apartment. She went to stay with her parents. She told everyone the blame was on her friends, that if the party had stayed on plan, we would still be getting married. Maybe she meant it. Or maybe she was just drowning and grabbing at anything that would keep her afloat. Her friends, bizarrely, started texting me too. Messages like, "Are you okay?" and "If you ever want to talk." I haven't replied to any of them because everything about that night reeks of lies, and I'm not interested in investing in a nest of snakes. So now I'm single. I'm taking space. I'm trying to remember what my life looked like before the world fell through the floor. Sometimes people message me asking what I'll do next. The truth is simple. I'm going to live my life. And I hope, truly, that none of you ever have to go through discovering betrayal in a grainy video taken at 2 in the morning by drunk strangers.